Hello, happy Friday. It is January 25th, 2019, and this is the last Friday of the month. So I am so excited to be talking today. I hope you're having a blessed Friday. So this Fulfilling Life Friday, the topic or the question I wanted to pose to you is, how free are you really? So I'm going to be covering three areas that I'm going to be covering. One is time, the second is money, and the final one is mindset. So I'll be going over a couple bullets for each. So the first one, time. I wanted to ask you, what do you do in your free time? So I'm not talking about the time you do for work. I think a lot of people may associate working with free time, although it's not free time. So what do you do in your free time? Do you have a project that you're working on? Are you an entrepreneur and so you have something you're working on related to entrepreneurship? So I also wanted to talk about time in relation to working for someone. So if you work full-time, for example, then you're working 40 hours a week. Or if you're working part-time, you're working 20 hours a week or so, or a little bit more than that. But I just wanted to highlight the fact that that's a commitment. And that is why I am so not about working full-time, is because if you think about it, you only get the weekends for free time if you work a 40-hour work week, and then it's 8 hours a day, and so when you get home you're super tired and maybe you don't have the time to actually work on the things that you want to work on. And so that's why I am an entrepreneur. That's why I don't work full-time, because I feel like time is valuable and we should be able to choose how we spend our time. Another thing in relation to work is that they will tell you when you can get vacation. So you have to put in a request for vacation, which I feel is really redundant, because it's like asking, can I enjoy my life today? Can I take off a few weeks or a couple of days so I can enjoy my life? And I really don't agree with that. I really feel that that is something that is I don't know, it's not something that I want to live my life doing, is asking for vacations and asking if I can enjoy my life. And another thing is, in relation to working, is them telling you how much they're gonna pay you, which if we all determine how much we're worth, it wouldn't be, for some of us, maybe the job that we're working for is actually paying that, but for others of us, our worth is not demonstrated in the paychecks that we receive each month. So that's my thoughts on that. I already covered if you're having time to build. Being an entrepreneur or someone who is working on something of their own takes time, and you should spend time each weekend, especially when you're not working, to work on those things. You are not going to be a billionaire or a millionaire working for someone else. Why? Because this organization has a hierarchy, and that person at the top is the one who makes the most money. And if you happen to make equivalent to what they're making, that means they're not going to be at the top anymore. So if you're thinking that working at a job is going to make you a millionaire or a billionaire, it's not. So that's why I'm all about entrepreneurship. I know entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, but for the fellow entrepreneurs out there, I give you a thumbs up, and I want to say keep on doing what you're doing, because it takes a certain type of person to do that. And I always say for Fulfilling Life Friday that your goals are just as important as the goals of the organization or the company that you're working at. And so I want to challenge you to think about your goals and how important those are, and not dismiss them, and stick to a schedule in regards to working on those things. So the second point I wanted to talk about was money. in relation to freedom. So a lot of people, and I've done it, is associate what is in your bank account with your freedom. So based on your job and how much you get paid at your job, you may relate that to the amount of freedom you have. And then you may also consider what is in your bank account and associate that with your freedom as well. And so if you are someone who does that, and we often do that, we think that we have to have these certain limitations because of the amount in our bank account, and we associate numbers with success or accomplishments or freedom. And I find that that is something that we can all strive to not do, is to associate money with freedom. So let me backtrack a bit and tell you why I wanted to talk about this today. Is because this week there's an incident that happened at work, and I had this question. So at work, based on your role, if you're a supervisor, based on this hierarchy system, even if you work for a nonprofit, there's always going to be someone that is your boss. And so based on that person being your boss, you always have to answer to someone. You also have to, maybe not everything you do needs to get approval, but some of the things you do need to get approval. And so there's certain limitations in that, because you're not able to freely create things and freely just work. You're always going to have to speak with other people about it or get their approval. Now, I'm not saying that that's not essential. It's essential to have that collaborative work environment, but having that limitation can be a little frustrating at times when you just want to be able to work. And so there's another type of limitation that possibly people have. So yeah, we talked about money, and the next one is about mindset. So I always talk about mindset. I always talk about how it's important to shape your mind in the direction that you want to go, shape your mind in order to manifest the things that you want. So if your mindset is that of doubt and fear and anxiety and negativity, then I would say you don't have true freedom. And there's something amazing that happens when you have true peace, when you're able to actually have that mental barrier, so you're not always someone who is worried and stressed and having anxiety and not really truly living the life that you want to live because you are so distressed about things. So I feel like having that mental freedom and mental barriers, and we've always discussed how you can go about building up that mental barrier, is having self-awareness and seeking out opportunities to be a better leader and a better person, doing self-reflection, seeking people who motivate you, reading books, things like that. And so another thing I want to talk about is freedom of opinion from others. So if you're on social media every day, and maybe you post every day because you're looking for approval from others, and a lot of us don't want to acknowledge that and say and be honest and say, hey, so I like when I get more than 50 likes on my picture, or I like when people comment, I like when people share my posts, because we don't want to be honest about, that desire to want approval from others. But there's another limitation that goes in that when you want approval from others, when you are seeking approval. And I know that it's good to want to be liked by everyone, but you don't want to make it so that you're always seeking approval from people, because then that means you're limiting your creativity, you're limiting who you are, who you truly are. and you're tailoring the way you function and the way you act based on what you think someone is going to think of you. For example, makeup, or for example, posting things that are related to something else someone has posted, or doing something or going about your life in a way that you think is going to seek the approval of others, or embarking on things that you don't necessarily have a gift to do. Like, for example, there's a lot of Instagram ads, and they're always talking about, oh, you can start a blog, you can do your business, this is how you make 20K in 1 month. And it's like, well, that's great, but at the same time, is this in my lane? And that's like a whole different topic, is staying in your lane. If these things that are being promoted on Instagram or Facebook are not in your lane, not in your area expertise, if you don't feel that you're prepared to do those things, or it's really not something that you're passionate about, then why would you pursue it? Because then you're wasting your time, and you're taking away from the time that you can be using to do something else related to something you're passionate about. So that is Fulfilling Life Friday. Are you truly free? We talked about time, we talked about money, and we talked about mindset. I think mindset is the most important one of them all, because I feel like it ties into the other factors that we talked about as well. So I wanted to end with the announcement about the Women to Women drive that I am holding until February 1st, which is next week. So that is a feminine product drive for women in Haiti. A lot of women and girls in Haiti do not have access to feminine products, which means that they are exposed during their monthly cycle, and it prevents them from going to school for some of the girls. And then for the women, it's just not something that they have access to. And so the Women to Women drive is going to be raising or collecting feminine products, specifically pads for women, in Haiti, because I will be going back next month. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to be staying for 20 days, which is great. Last September, I stayed for 10 days, so now I'm doubling that time. And I am really looking forward to meeting with the communities again, and really determining the best approach for both of us, and really having understanding of them, and creating an environment of sharing knowledge, and an environment of leadership and ownership. Highlight on the ownership part. So that's all for now. And I always close Fulfilling Life Friday with speaking blessings over your life. And so I want to start by speaking blessings over your mind, since we talked about mindset and how important it is. And I will always continue to talk about mindset, because I feel like it's an essential aspect to whatever area in life you're looking to grow in. I also want to speak blessings over your finances, for increase, for acceleration, for new jobs, opportunities, and blessings over your goals for this weekend, because we're going to be working on our goals this weekend that are just as important as the goals of the organizations and companies we work for during the week. And then finally, I want to speak blessings over your family and friends, including the friends that you don't talk to anymore. I often think of the friends that I don't talk to anymore, and also pray for them, because I know that prayer is powerful, and my way of continuing to care for them and bless them is through prayer. And so that is all for now. You can donate money if you'd like. If you'd like to do that, you can send me a direct message, or you can go to darehumanity.org and make your donation there. And while you're there, you can also check out information about the 3 communities that we are serving. We are developing a community of humility and of giving. And I feel like it's more important to give than to receive. And so it's just great. It's really great building something and helping someone and more than one person and just learning as you grow and all of that. So anyways, that is all for Fulfilling Life Friday. I'll have to figure out the best way to do Fulfilling Life Friday from Haiti, because last time I did Fulfilling Life from Friday from Haiti, it didn't go so well because I was trying to go live, but the Wi-Fi wasn't the best. And so I may just pre-record Fulfilling Life Friday, and I'll be on Eastern Standard Time, and so I'll be recording them early, and so by the time they're released to you, then you can watch it. And I'll probably post it on IGTV, or post it on YouTube for you to watch. But that's all for now. I hope you enjoy your Friday and your weekend. Work on those goals. And please, if you are at the store this weekend and if you're a woman, pick up a pack of pads and you can ship them to our P.O. Box, which is on darehumanity.org, or if you're shopping on Amazon, you can add it to your shopping cart and just ship it that way, so then you don't have to worry about actually going to ship it on your own. So that's all for now. Happy Friday, happy weekend, happy almost February, and until then, I will see you next Friday for Fulfilling Friday.